today, this is so exciting to study this, and today we're going to start session 2 of 40 Reasons Why We Could Be the Generation. Of course, this is your textbook. You've had your assignments, and you are ready to receive another Reader's Digest version of Reasons 5 through 12. Here we go. Let's just go ahead and get started. Reason number 5, the Roman Empire has been revived. The first two empires on earth were Egypt and Assyria. In Daniel 2, 1 through 45, God shows Daniel the interpretation of a dream that King Nebuchadnezzar had. And he showed Daniel what the remaining 5 empires on earth would be. Daniel saw a great statue, as you're seeing on the screen. The head was made of fine gold, and he told Nebuchadnezzar that this was the kingdom of the Babylonian Empire, which is the kingdom that Nebuchadnezzar was ruling. Then he said the breasts and folded arms of the statue were of silver. This, he told the king, were the Medes and Persians who would conquer Babylon. The belly and the thigh were of bronze, and this was to be the Greek or Grecian Empire, which would be led by the he-goat, Alexander the Great, who would then conquer the Medes and the Persians. The fourth of the remaining 5 kingdoms was made out of iron, and this is the Roman Empire that he said would then conquer the Greek Empire. The 2 iron legs are the division of the Roman Empire, divided into the eastern portion, which was called the Byzantine Empire, and the western portion. Both of these have expired. The toes were partly of iron, which means they were strong, and they were mixed with common clay, which we know, like pottery, is weak and brittle. So this last kingdom of the 10 toes would be a mixture of strong and weak, and these two don't mix. Just as the men who are or were to be a part of this 7th empire will not adhere or see eye to eye on everything. The European Union, or the EU, is this new world order of the 10 toes. In Daniel, we learn that a stone will strike this empire. This is a stone cut without hands, a living stone, the chief cornerstone. And already we see the EU flexing its muscles more and more. The newly created European Defense Agency is the EU's first step to becoming a military power to enforce a foreign policy agreed upon by its member states around the world. France has led the call for a revived European superpower to confront Washington. Quote, "Our world needs several powers, and we are in the process of gathering the pieces and the will to become such a power. The European Constitution, which makes nor wants any mention of God in it, is the beginning of the European diplomatic service. They have a currency, the euro dollar, that has on it a woman riding on a beast. The postage stamps have the same image of this from Revelation. And the EU is now backing Palestine, which will eventually bring on the battle of battles at a place called Megiddo in the Great War of Armageddon." And by the way, I just found this interesting. I'm just going to toss it out. That the Western European Union, or the WEU, resolution number was 666. Just throwing it out. Reason number 5, the Roman Empire, the final empire on earth, has been revived. Check. Reason number 6, the age of the Gentiles is being fulfilled. Luke 21:24, "And Jerusalem will be trampled by Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles are fulfilled." Romans 11:25, "For I do not desire, brethren, that you should be ignorant of this mystery, lest any of you should be wise in your own opinion, that blindness in part has happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles has come in." Luke referred to the time of the Gentiles, that part of history that will be dominated by Gentile powers until the coming of the Messiah kingdom. But the fullness of the Gentiles in Romans is referring to the completion of the Gentile church's purpose. And following this fullness of the Gentiles, when our purpose has ended, scales will drop off the eyes of the Jewish people. Veils will be lifted on their hearts. They will no longer be blinded to the Messiah, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ. Again, remember, there's only 12 to 15 million Jewish people on the planet. They make up less than 1% of the world's population. To be exact, it's 0.002%. And yet, over 1 million Jewish people have recognized Yeshua HaMashiach in the last 20 years. This is a sign. Number 6, the age of the Gentiles is being fulfilled. And when the time of the church's purpose is ended, God, because the Jewish people, not all, we have to give the Jewish people all the credit for keeping the scriptures for us and recording it and bringing it to us. But when they rejected the Messiah, the gospel then was taken to us Gentiles. Now we have a time period, this church period, when our purpose has ended. God will be turning his full attention back to Israel and the Jewish people. And we are fast approaching that time. Bible's batting 1,000 so far. Reason number 7, the days of Noah have returned. The 10th generation from Adam was so perverse, so violent, so morally bankrupt, that God told Moses, who was 480 years old at the time, take heart, senior citizens, God can still use us. He said, go build an ark. Mind you, 200 miles from any body of water, and when the earth had never had rain. Because if you read in Genesis, the earth was watered by mist. So here he is building a ship 200 miles from any body of water, telling people that something called rain was going to come out of the sky. Noah and his sons built this ark for 120 years. Now you talk about obedience and stick-to-itiveness. We could all learn something from that when we're given a task and it takes us far longer than we think that we should have to spend on it. There was many people came by, and there was a lot of gossip about this nut who was building a boat. And Noah testified to anyone who would listen. But they ignored the warning that was being given to them by God, that God was going to bring judgment on the whole earth because it was so wicked. People scoffed. They ignored the warnings, but not Noah. So God gave him and his family not a boat, a great ship. And right here is a place to tell you that I have done a presentation called Noah and the Ark. Noah was a zealot, and I'm one too. You really need, as a class, to order that video and play it so you can see what lengths God went to so that this earth could start again being